Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of The Professional Fan. I'm the professional fan, Mike Antonace. Hope y'all are having a great evening this fine Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday evening so far. If you're new here on your way in, please like this video if you could. Subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. We're a little over 600 subscribers now. We're trying to get to 1,000. It'd be cool if we could hit that before the start of the season. If not, though, hopefully we could hit it at the start of the season. That would be sweet. But I'm just going to get right into it, guys. So, yeah, Browns 53, roster set, cutdown day has come and gone. Waivers have been thrown in and claimed. A lot of pretty good talent out there on the waiver wire, especially at the running back position. A lot of really good running backs that were out on the waiver wire, and the Browns actually picked one up. I'll talk about that here in a sec, but first and foremost, want to get into some notable players that made the Browns roster that I'm sure we're all really excited about. Wide receiver Gage LaVerden managed to make the team, as I think he should. He showed out in camp, showed out in the preseason, showed that he can play in special teams. He can play the actual wide receiver position. And huge for the kid. Really cool that he was able to do it. Didn't have the best season at South Carolina. Coming out of it, I believe he was hurt. But really happy for the young man. That's huge news for him and his family. Aiden Huntington, who has been insane in the preseason and camp, did make the team. We all found that out, actually, even before cutdown day, because Stefanski was so happy and excited to tell us. Aiden Huntington, I think he can actually be one of those actual UDFA steals. This dude's pass rush ability is next level. The kid's got insane bend, almost like a defensive end from the 3-tech position. They had him as a fullback with the first team. Like, Aiden Huntington is a guy that could kind of coast special as far as how he's played. I mean, on special teams, he's sprinting out there and making plays, and he's a 275 to 300 pound 3-tech. I think Aiden Huntington's going to actually get a lot of playing time in the rotation, especially now that we did, in fact, trade Juwan Briggs. Other notable pickups in the waiver wire, we picked up running back Raheem Sanders, which, if you're a fan of the channel and have watched my draft breakdowns, I actually talked about Raheem Sanders at length before the NFL draft and thought that he would be a good pickup for the Cleveland Browns. And now he is, as a matter of fact, on the waiver wire. Really explosive bruiser back kind of guy. He's got to play a little bit bigger and like absorb more contact. But I think Raheem Sanders will contribute with Pierre Strong Jr. Gone. I mean, Quinshon Judkins, obviously the situation is still playing out with his contract and with the suspension looming. I do believe Quinshon Judkins will end up getting suspended. But with this season looming in, the Browns are now having 3 rookie running backs, guys, and Jerome Ford. I expect all 4 to be kept. I expect all 4 to make the team. But the running back room is probably going to look like Judkins, Sampson, Jerome Ford for the foreseeable future, and then Raheem Sanders, if he's as good as I think he can be. This was just a loaded running back class. I mean, him, Damian Martinez getting cut as well, which was big shock. I mean, there were just running backs everywhere in this class. Audric Estime went unclaimed because there were just younger players out there, and which is ultimately the reason why I think the Browns went with Raheem Sanders over Audric Estime, is because Raheem Sanders is a rookie, gives him time to develop. You know, it's not that kind of had a on and off year. Um, with the Broncos, you don't have to deal with any of that. Other notable additions: Dom Jones made the team. Really tall corner, kind of reminds you a little bit about Martin Emerson. We also claimed a corner who had an insane RAS score in 23. His name is escaping me, but he's out of Louisiana State. And yeah, Browns are adding a bunch of corners for obvious reasons to see who sticks, because right now the Browns are a little bit in a pickle with the secondary. But this initial 53, man, I mean, my initial reaction to it, I think the Browns might is the key word here, be a lot better than what people are expecting. I think the Browns have the ability and the capability to overachieve this year. And it's not going to be hard to overachieve, because I think all of us have very few to limiting expectations for the Cleveland Browns this year. You know, I came on and said best case scenario is like 7-8 wins. If they eclipse that with 9 wins, I think that's a success of a season. If they eclipse that even more, it would be an insane season. But I'll be honest, guys, in that I know I didn't really have time to talk about it. We kind of didn't talk about it because of the last preseason game was a little jarring. But the first team offense looked good. You know, Harold Fannin Jr. looks good. David Njoku still looks good. And the more the preseason and training camp has went, the more that I've had more faith built in our wide receiver room, which I think was incredibly weak. But now I actually feel a little bit more comfortable with our wide receiver room. Malachi Corley. And we added Malachi Corley, second-year wide receiver, got cut from the Jets. And he will be competing for a spot. I wouldn't be surprised if he's dropped to the practice squad. Because Isaiah Bond more than likely is going to get that spot. I think Isaiah Bond comes from a better system. I think he's more athletic, and I think he's just a better wide receiver at this point than Malachi Corley. But him and Gage are probably going to be competing for that spot there. But yeah, back to our wide receiver room, guys. I think our wide receiver room can kind of shock a lot of us. I know we're putting a lot of stock into some young players that are a little bit unproven. Cedric Tillman had that 3-game stretch before he got hurt that he got 100 yards in each game when he actually got the starting role. Maybe he can build upon that, but I think Jamari Thrash is going to, at an expanded role this year, is going to show out as a starting slot receiver. He looked great in camp. He's looked great in preseason. Excuse me. But yeah, Jamari Thrash is, I think, the biggest shock. You know, I liked him coming out of Louisville, but I think this year with an expanded starting role, he is really going to show out. I wouldn't be surprised if he has 600-700 yards this season, maybe more, depending on how often they go to him and if Gabriel starts playing earlier than later. Just because Gabriel likes to work the middle of the field, will work the slot receiver and the tight ends a little bit more. So that's running backs, that's receivers. On defense, like I already talked about the corners, but Carson Schwessinger, I'm going to sing his praises. He won the award for best player in training camp. There's a name for the award. I don't remember the name of the award, but good for him. Carson Schwessinger, I think, is a dark horse defensive rookie of the year candidate. I'll be the first to say that. Huge believer in this kid. I think he's insanely talented. He continues to show that. I think he's wise in football beyond his years. Already getting crazy nicknames from certain Browns fans. Certain Browns fans call him Luke Kuechly Jr. Don't know if I'm there yet with him. He's been incredibly impressive in everything I thought he would be in the NFL, at least so far in training camp and preseason and more. But you can tell this kid's going to be different. And he's going to be with the Browns a very, very long time. That's going to be like he could have like some Hall of Fame level talent. That's my hot take. Browns offensive line. We traded a 7th round pick for Penn State's former left tackle, for some added depth with our current swing tackle hurt and no timetable to return. We also signed Cole Strange, former 1st round pick out of Chattanooga, who started like 27 games for the Patriots at guard. We signed him to the practice squad. So there's that. I'll never understand that pick, bro. Belichick was wild as a GM near the end, dude. He was just picking dudes. Like he would just, I don't know if he just didn't want to meet with more players or what, but I'm sure Cole Strange is a nice guy, but my God, man. 1st round pick out of Chattanooga. Insane stuff by Belichick. Cole Strange signed to the practice squad. Bailey Zappi signed to the practice squad, which is wild. He's back in Cleveland again. Another New England guy. So he'll be a practice squad quarterback. So it looks like we will be keeping all 3 quarterbacks on the active roster in the order of Flacco, Gabriel, and Shador. And Joseph and I were correct in our evaluation months ago. Kenny Pickett was traded for a 5th to the Las Vegas Raiders. So we basically got back what we got for him and then also managed to cut DTR. So I think that was weird. I think maybe the Kenny Pickett situation, my kind of headcanon on it is that they wanted Kenny Pickett to be the bridge guy until they figured out for one of the rookies to start or figure out if they're picking somebody next year or what have you. And, or if Flacco couldn't go, because Joe Flacco did play in Indianapolis last year. He was underwhelming. Maybe they thought he was cooked and Kenny Pickett was an insurance policy for a bridge guy. I think that kind of makes sense. Joe Flacco is 41, but his arm looks fine. He looks fine in the system. Maybe the Indianapolis's Shane Steichen's system over there just didn't fit what Flacco was good at. But that's my headcanon with the Kenny Pickett thing. Still a little weird. Luckily, like I know people are like, oh, he took camp reps away from the rookies. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But like in the same token, like he was hurt most of camp. Like he didn't manage to take a hell of a lot of reps away. Chantel's in the house. They had a trade offer yesterday for Sanders from the Colts. It was a 3rd round pick, and Anthony Richardson, and Cleveland rejected the offer, according to Reporter. Yeah, I mean, I think they want to see what both rookie quarterbacks can do. And I think Anthony Richardson is so talented. The Colts really messed that up, man. I mean, Anthony Richardson played like, 5 games in college or something ridiculous. He's like 21. Like he's super young. He was super raw. And the Colts knew that coming out. And for whatever reason, the Colts just decided to like, no, we're going to start Danny Dimes. Like they have failed that dude miserably. And now, do I think Anthony Richardson will ever be a franchise level quarterback? I don't know. It's a little bit of a tangent, but yeah. And like a 3rd round pick, I mean, plus Anthony Richardson, want him or not want him, a 3rd round pick's a pretty strong trade offer for a rookie player that hasn't, seen an NFL field yet other than preseason. But the Browns have made it very clear, like they've received trade offers for Dylan Gabriel as well. I just think they really want to see what they got in their rookies, because at the end of the day, the Browns, whether Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders can end up being your franchise quarterback, in the long run, that helps the Browns, because it's like, okay, I'm paying this guy a 3rd round salary for the next 4 years. I'm paying this guy a 5th round salary for the next 4 years. In Shador Sanders' case, I can use that extra money I am saving from not paying a quarterback $25 million or whatever first round pick gets anymore. It's like insane. It's like $18 to $22 million. If you're picked in like the top 3, the amount of money you save is nuts, and you can use that to build around the young quarterback. Plus, the Browns would then not have to use one of their first round picks next year. Let's see. Oh, it looks like I'm having trouble streaming to Facebook. Shocking. I can't believe Cleveland rejected. That's crazy. No, I mean, they don't really trade rookies like that. He was on a podcast and said it, Ian Rappaport. Yeah, I mean, the Browns really don't trade rookies like that. Now, like year 2, maybe. But like the Browns have never been like the team that's like, hey, we've seen this rookie in training camp and preseason, which the Browns, this front office specifically, the Browns do not give a shit about preseason. I could not stress this enough. The Browns do not give a shit about preseason. They never have. I don't know why. Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, they don't care about it. They never have. They never will. The preseason is nothing to them. Training camp is like blinders on, and then joint practices they give like a whole lot to that. But yeah, the Browns aren't going to trade a rookie until they see what they got on the field, and in very rare cases do they even cut a rookie, even if they think they can't play. They gave Anthony Schwartz 2 years. They gave Siaki Ika a year, and Siaki Ika did not belong in the NFL. He didn't even see the field. But yeah, I think the Browns they want to see the rookies at some point. I'd be shocked. I posed this question the other day. It's like, what if Joe Flacco is just on a tear and we're like 5-0? I'm like, that would ruin my entire outlook. Because like, do you pull him if you're 5-0? I think that would be just crazy. I don't think that's gonna happen, mind you. But like, wouldn't that be some nuts shit if like the Browns' whole plan is like, yeah, we're gonna be semi-competitive. We'll throw Joe Flacco out there for like 6-7 weeks, see what he's got left in the tank. Maybe we're 500, and then we're gonna go ahead and try the rookies, Dylan Gabriel. Then we'll try Shedeur Sanders. We'll see how this looks, see how it works. But what if like that's their plan? And it's like, if we go 500, it's a W, or 8-9, the closest you can get to 500 anymore. That's like a winning, like that's a good season this year. But what if Joe Flacco's just going on a tear and we're 5-0? Anything can happen. And they're just like, damn, like, what do we do? It's such a conundrum. I don't even know what you could do. Joseph said it. Like, subscribe, and share. I would greatly appreciate that. Joseph would as well. But yeah, no, I think the Browns are I think they're going to be fun to watch this year at the very least. I totally forgot to change my banner. 18 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen, and I changed it to the right banner. I'll figure this YouTube thing out one day. So, 53-man roster. Kenny Pickett trade was weird. Joseph tried to sneak in. There we go. They had a lot of 12 jerseys at both games, Rams and Carolina. Yeah, man. I mean, Chantel, I mean, you're absolutely right. I call everybody that. But yeah, no, I mean, he's a national, like, he's a football player first, obviously, but Shedeur Sanders is a celebrity. He has celebrity about him. He's got fans everywhere. There's a ton of people who are flocking to the Browns because he's on the team. And I think Shedeur has handled this whole situation great. I mean, he knows he has to earn his job. He's been just incredible in the media. He's been incredible in training camp. He had a great preseason game. 1, 2, he struggled. But here, rookies are going to have, growing pains. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are. The NFL is different, and everybody has growing pains. Drew Brees had growing pains. Tom Brady had growing pains. There's a ton of Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks that had growing pains. Peyton Manning looked like ass his first year. Like, come on, Shador's going to have good moments and bad moments. He's a rookie. Dalen Gabriel is going to have good moments and bad moments. He's a rookie. It's what happens. Joe Flacco is going to have good moments and bad moments, but that's because he's 41. That man gets like what is it? AARP? Is that the old people thing? You get them magazines. They brought in another QB for practice squad. Bailey Zappi. Yeah. Bailey Zappi. You might remember Chantel was on the team last year as a practice squad guy. They like that kid. He's a really hard worker. Not NFL caliber quarterback, but if we fall off a cliff and all 3 quarterbacks are hurt, he can do his thing. I'm enjoying some delicious Rheingeist Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, sponsor us, Rheingeist. Please call me. Call me. This is not sponsored by Rheingeist, by the way, but call me, Rheingeist. You make a good product, even though you're in Cincinnati. I won't hold it against you. I hope you don't take Shador's spot. That would suck. Bailey Zappi? No. No. Good God, no. No. And that's just from a talent perspective. But there's if Bailey Zappi somehow takes Shador Sanders' spot, I will live stream me eating my shirt. Eating it and swallowing it. No, Bailey Zappi is not going to be taking Shador Sanders' spot. Shador Sanders, we need a practice squad quarterback, and there's only so many quarterbacks you can stick on a practice squad without that guy being claimed. Bailey Zappi's one of those guys that you could just put on your practice squad. He can work out with those dudes. He can run your scout team, do all the extracurricular stuff that your football team needs to do. That's part of being a football team in the NFL that we don't really ever talk about, but it's part of the actual process is having the practice squad, doing the scout team stuff, all that jazz. That's actually important, but it doesn't get the limelight, as it were. There's not a lot of guys you can stick on a practice squad without them being claimed. Bailey Zappi will not be claimed. So no, Shador Sanders he's got an actual roster spot. He is not going to the practice squad. He is going to be on the sideline until they put him in. No, so they wouldn't put Shador on the practice squad because he'd get claimed. So, if you're on the practice squad, in the NFL, it doesn't matter what team you're on the practice squad for. You can be claimed by another NFL team at any point. Think of it just like a free agent, except most of those guys are young or, a little bit more unproven. And they're significantly cheaper than most free agents. So if you're on a practice squad, you can get claimed at any point in time by any team in the NFL. They would not put Shador Sanders on the practice squad because, like you said, you just read a report from Ian Rappaport that said that they said no to a trade request, right? So if they already said no to a 3rd round pick 2 rounds above that where they actually had Shador, and if they put him on the practice squad, that team could just go get him, and we would get nothing back. So, no, Shador Sanders is not going to be on the practice squad. Bailey Zappi is purely going to be a practice squad quarterback, scout team, or break class, and in case of big emergency guy. Like if all three of the quarterbacks get hurt, at that point they might bring Bailey Zappi up. But even that's not a guarantee. If they have a bunch of injuries there, they'll probably look for somebody outside. There are other practice squad quarterbacks that are better than Bailey Zappi. Tyler Huntley, Yeah. Yeah, no problem, Chantel. Yeah, it's weird. Practice squad's a weird thing. But it's a useful tool for all NFL teams because you can monitor other players practice squads and you can scout them. So in the event that something happens and you have a ton of injuries at linebacker or your depth in one of your position groups, you can just sign dudes that you think might have a chance to show something. So practice squad's super, super useful for the NFL. Yeah, and ownership would never allow it. Yeah. I mean, he would get claimed, As a matter of fact, there's a lot of players. The Browns don't put draft picks really on the practice squad often, unless you're like a 6th or a 7th round guy. Most of the time you'll see UDFAs that they really, really like get signed to the practice squad that just put in great work in the preseason, help scout team. Like Caden Davis is that guy. He looks good in every preseason, but he's never going to see the NFL field in a Cleveland Browns uniform. He's just that kind of guy. Number 89, Caden Davis. He re-signed with our practice squad. That's what he's going to be for his whole career. But, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, if I'm Caden Davis, I mean, you're making what? $500,000 a year or something like that? Even if it's $300,000 a year and you play on the practice squad and you just got to go to practice, I'd take that deal. I'd take that deal 9 times out of 10. Yeah, I saw that. I'm getting a Carson Schlesinger jersey. That is the jersey I'm getting. I've already picked it. I know that dude's going to be great. Number 49, that's the jersey I'm getting. 33rd overall pick. Absolute machine of a dude. So excited to watch him in a live NFL game. I hope he sacks Joe Burrow game 1. I hope he just lays him out. I'm going to scream. I'm going to be calling, me and Joseph are going to be calling the game that day. And you might not want to wear headphones if you were watching the live stream that day, because I'm going to scream if Carson Schlesinger just lays out Joe Burrow, which he probably will, because Joe Burrow, once again, for Joseph, how long has Joe Burrow been in the league now? Is this his 6th year? 5th year? 6th year? 6th year? 7? Joseph, tell me how long he's been in the NFL. I think it's 6 years. We're going to say 6 years. So Joe Burrow's been in the league 6 years, and he still has a paper-thin offensive line. 7 years. Damn. I am getting old, Chantel. Or since 20, so 5 years. Or this is his 6th season. Whatever. 5 or 7 years, somewhere in there. Joe Burrow still has a paper-thin offensive line. And that's the reason why he struggles against his own division, is because the Browns always have a good defense. The Steelers always have a good defense. The Ravens have a really good secondary and safeties and linebackers. Their pass rush sucks. The Ravens' pass rush is always bad. 6 years. Thank you, Joseph. I said 5 to 7. It's right in the middle. Right in the middle, dude. You're from Louisiana. Joe Burrow went to LSU with your son. Oh, that's cool. Oh, it's cool that your son went to LSU. That's a good school. But yeah, the initial 53, my overall grade for the current Browns roster, I'm gonna give a just because this past draft has been so impressive, and really the UDFA's we've gotten that we signed right after the draft, and even our waiver claims, I really, really like all of them. Like Isaiah Bond, you know, uh, he's a top 100 player, and for obvious reasons, he didn't get drafted. For reasons outside of football, he was found not guilty, but he was a top 100 player. He was going to go in the first 3 rounds. He's a Cleveland Brown. UDFA. Aiden Huntington looks like he could have gone in like the first 2 rounds, at least in the second round, maybe high third round. Aiden Huntington looks insane. It's just incredible talent. I haven't seen a guy show out like that in a long time. I'm overall. I think the Browns roster right now is like a B, like maybe close to a B plus. Am I crazy? I might be a little crazy, but like I like our rooms. I like the offensive line. The offensive line looks back to normal. I like our backups. I like the guys in waiting. I'm not as worried about our wide receiver room. I still think it's weak-ish, but I'm not as like, oh, that room sucks. Could be the worst in the NFL. The tight end room is good. Like our running back room is good. Our defense is good. Other than the secondary, that's like a C minus. But overall, like that defensive line room is just disgusting. That defensive line room is gonna be nasty. Like just dudes everywhere. Even the dudes like that are coming in rotation, you don't want to see them. You're like, oh god. If you're a left guard, you're like, Jesus. Oh man. I remember watching Burrow at Athens in high school before he was famous. He was a bad man. Saw him play basketball too. Was a team center. Yeah, I heard he was good at basketball. Actually, I heard he was a pretty good basketball player. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to come on here and give an initial reaction to the initial 53. I know it's kind of like not like the best analysis, but at the end of the day, we've talked at ad nauseum about the Cleveland Browns roster. I've talked at so much about these draft picks and so many of the dudes that I wanted, just that I was just a fan of coming out of the draft. It's just so glad to see them in orange and brown. I didn't see Aiden Huntington coming. I didn't know anything about this kid. He looks awesome. I'm so glad he's a Brown. Some other quick news. Michael Hall Jr. is back at practice. He is working off to the side, but he is cleared to practice. So that's a big thing. Week 1 is only like 2 weeks away, or maybe less than 2 weeks now. Jeez, my God, time is flying. So yeah, week 1 is less than 2 weeks away. I don't know if he's going to be available for week 1, but maybe that gives Aiden Huntington an opportunity to see what he can do at 3-tech. Wouldn't that be fun? But yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna probably stay on for another 10-ish minutes or so. Go ahead and put your questions in the chat if you have some. Thank you again so much for joining. So if you're seeing this now, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Helps a lot. Yes, Joseph did see Aiden Huntington coming. That dude is just nuts. Nuts, man. I ain't seen a man wear 66 do the things that Aiden Huntington does. Yeah, he's special. I'm really excited about him. But yeah, so I'll just leave it open for questions. If I don't see any questions in the chat, probably ended around 40 minutes. How are you guys? How are you guys doing? Anything new with you? What are you guys excited for in the NFL season? And if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, what player are you excited to watch week 1? I'm really hyped to watch these linebackers, man. I think our linebacker room is nasty. Honestly, Jason Tarver, like that dude needs a DC role. Actually, no. I hope he doesn't get one because that means he would leave Cleveland. But that dude is a great coach. He is so good at linebacker talent. Like he just finds them everywhere. Mahmoud Diabate, good. Carson Schwessinger, he looks amazing. Obviously JOK. I mean, God, just dudes everywhere. Even Devin Bush looked okay last year. And that dude, everybody was like, oh, he's a friggin' bust. And he looked serviceable. Like, it's nuts. Yeah, that linebacker room is going to be so good. That front seven is going to be nasty, guys. That front seven for the Cleveland Browns is going to be nasty. Alex Wright, back healthy. Looks like he's picking up right where he left off. He just, that was a great pickup by AB. I will defend Andrew Berry's draft picks because a lot of them have developed into good talents. Alex Wright is one of them. I think Alex Wright, if he stays healthy, could potentially get 10 sacks this year. I really do. Before he got hurt last year, he was at 5, and that was like week 6. So I think Alex Wright has the potential to get 10 sacks. If you're just joining the show, this is kind of the questions part. So if you have a question, go ahead and leave a question in the chat. Let me know what you're excited about in the Cleveland Browns season. Or if you're just watching this on replay, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you're excited about in the NFL season if you're not a Browns fan, or what you're excited for the Browns to do this year, if anything, or a certain player that you're excited to watch. When you guys think they'll start putting the rookies in, I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. But all right, guys, looks like the comments have kind of cooled down. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'm the professional fan. I love you guys very much. Doesn't matter what team you're from. I appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Helps the show out a lot. I also co-host the main show on the channel, which is The Real with Joseph Latman. He's the main host of this channel, and you can find him on Sundays. And he's been doing a couple during the week here and there. We might have a more set schedule down the line when the NFL season starts, but right now it's been sporadic. It's the off season. What do you want from us? But thank you guys. Oh, real quick, Flacco Week 1 stats prediction. 205 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. But I think the pick is going to be a pick 6. Flacco's good for one of those. I think it's 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but the pick is a pick 6, 205 yards. With a Browns win. And the Browns beat the Bengals. Fucking 31. I'll give the Bengals 17 points. 31-17 Browns. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps the channel out a ton. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the NFL season starts. But here, if we can get there during week 1, that would be awesome too. But I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for your support and your continued support. But as always, the last thing you need to remember, most of all, is to stay professional.